Hi, my name's Tommy Guns, and I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to the Patriot Project. I would like to personally thank you for all your support. Currently, our group has grown to over 4,000 members, and it's because of each and every one of you, our dedicated and hardworking members, that have spread our message of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness to all your friends and family. So once again, thank you again. I would also like to ask that you please help us continue moving our message forward. Socialism is knocking on the door. It is imperative. We don't have much time left, members. The world needs to hear our voices. The 2020 election is almost upon us, and it will be the most defining moment in our lives. So please, let's get out and vote. Vote like it's the end of the world, because in reality, it could be. We must preserve our United States in 2020, and the working class and the people dedicated to our America, or we'll all be doomed for years. On another note, as many of you are well aware, 2 weeks ago we participated in our rally to honor first responders and our police officers in Nutley, New Jersey. It was a glorious day. We had approximately 50 of our members join us for the march. There was almost 1,000 people honoring these hardworking men and women in blue and our frontline workers. Well, here we go again. We're planning another event, and we need your help. We're solidifying a location in Jersey City, still to be determined. We're having a lot of issues in Jersey City. My wife, Martha, as well as some of our other members, are trying to fine-tune the details to bring this rally to fruition. We're attempting to get the JCPD involved, as well as some of the first responders in Jersey City. Announcements for the event will be up online shortly. Just to let you know, planning this logistically with the city of Jersey City has been daunting, but we intend to get it done. I hope we can get a bigger turnout than the 50 people that we did at our last event. We're trying to get to Journal Square and the Columbus statue, but now we're being told that we may have to proceed down to the Jersey City waterfront to enable us to hold our event. Announcements will be posted shortly. I hope each and every one of you will join our rally. We need boots to the ground. We need to spread our message. This is your world, our world. Get out and show your support. We must fight for the future of our generation and generations to come. The left is very strong in doing everything possible to defeat us. You must fight for America. Don't talk the talk, walk the walk. Stand with me to save this country. We must hold the line and unite together. Together, we can thwart the efforts of these domestic terrorists and gain our United States back once again. Remember, we are the majority. We hold the purse strings, the working class. This is our America. Let's take it back together. With that, let me get right down to business. Currently in these United States, there is a deep-seated plot by the Democrats, their liberal minions, and groups posing as legitimate, nonpartisan organizations to overthrow this government. They intend on winning the 2020 election and intend on changing our world forever. They will do everything they can to fundamentally destroy the United States. There's an insurrection going on in the country. Democratic states have seceded from the Union. They have taken our monuments, destroyed our history, and allowed cities to be burned to the ground. They have allowed our police and our citizens in this great country to be murdered, beaten, and ostracized. Our children to be shot and killed, and our people to be threatened and accosted. They have banned travel in and out of their states, placed radical terrorists in control, and have destroyed our way of life. They blame our president for their failures. They blame our party for their inept policies, the inability to control and police their streets, the inability to fight for law-abiding people in these United States. Many of our constitutional rights have either been altered and or completely done away with under the guise of a pandemic and under the false narrative of police brutality and racial oppression. We know this is a farce. We know this is a sham, all a smoke and mirrors scam. As my mother would say, this is what you would call a kabuki theater. Let us face facts. America voted in a black president in marches unseen by anything in this country ever. Racism, before Obama came into office, had been at an all-time low. We are at a mutual respect for each other. We became one nation, indivisible, except for a very small amount of people who have always failed to assimilate into modern-day society. He is the reason for the divide in this nation. He created identity politics. He made us last, gave our riches to the rest of the world, allowed our borders to be open, and flooded the gates with illegal, undocumented domestic terrorists. After 2 brutal terms in office, the world saw through his plot to destroy the country. His plot to end our world. His abysmal failure at being president and commander-in-chief of these United States. We fought back, elected our president, Donald J. Trump, into office. The greatest president these United States has ever seen. We needed to take back our world. Okay? Our president knew that this country was in serious jeopardy. He had a plan for the future and executed it. He did everything he could to bring these United States together as one, in the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. His list of accomplishments are far beyond anything we ever seen in office, by any president that has ever been elected. He went above and beyond to drain the swamp, get beyond identity politics, and stop socialism from entering our borders. He incited the Democrats. They knew that this president was about business. They knew that politics to this man was immaterial, and his love for God and country would outweigh all else. He set out to rid our system of the democratic tyranny that flooded our Senate and Capitol, to bring new country back to the days of grace and the America we once knew. They plotted against him. Coup after miserable coup failed to overthrow our great president. Their impeachment efforts always falling far short of their mark. As you and I know, these Democrats are hell-bent on destroying our United States. Today, they are on the final push, only a few short months before the presidential election, hell-bent on destroying America, the America that we love and know. They're trying to push this agenda under the false pretense of racial inequality and police brutality. George Floyd was just a pawn, a tool by the left to incite a riotous mob in America, to instill fear in our citizens. We all know that you have a better chance of being struck by lightning than killed by a white police officer. The real killers of the so-called minorities in America are at the hands of their own people. Then to put a cherry on this charade by overplaying a pandemic with a less than 1% mortality rate, they fudged the numbers, made it bigger than it was, broadcasted to the world their communist news networks and agencies which are funded by the left, media outlets that donate to their cause. I say to all of you members, go look at where the funding sources come from, where their donations are derived from. Every single news media outlet linked to the Democratic Party in one way or another. With the exception of Fox. This is a plot to overthrow our government, a plot to destroy our country, all hatched by the Democratic Party. Even now, they are attempting to rig the 2020 election with mail-in ballots, placement of their henchmen and their guardians into the realm of the polling places in preparation for the upcoming election. What do you think they close churches, schools, and large gathering places for? Because this is where you vote. This is where the balloting is held. Don't you see a pattern here, members? Keep America closed so that the Democratic left can deceptively utilize mail-in votes to manipulate our system? A plot to defraud our election. At present, we are not allowed to gather in our churches and places of worship. Our schools are shut down. Our meeting places closed up and boarded up. No more gyms and places of gathering. No more indoor dining. Clubbing is a thing of the past. Our era going to Xenons and Studio 54 is gone forever. Concerts to see Ozzy Osbourne, Judas Priest, AC/DC, and Black Sabbath fucking obliterated. Our way of life destroyed. Our movement is limited and restricted. They're trying to control us. Socialism is at our door. We have COVID trackers on our phones. Google knows our every move. Large conglomerates in bed with the Democratic Socialists trying to control our very lives. Small businesses die and we sit home day and night. But big box stores such as Amazon, Target, Walmart, Home Depot, and Starbucks can do anything they want. Millions of people going in and out of their doors each and every day without so much as a peep. Same thing with the protests. Millions of people with no social distancing, masks on top of their heads, slung around their necks for show. These people can do anything they fucking want as long as they support democratic socialism. They're given carte blanche to burn our buildings to the ground, loot our stores, destroy our history, decimate our cities. Why? Because they're trying to throw an election, that's why. Create turmoil in America that really doesn't exist. So everyone believes that this is because of a president spreading false narrative day after day. This is not the work of our president. This is the work of the radical left. We know who's behind the pandemonium, behind the parlor tricks, all smoke and mirrors and crystal balls. Just the other day, I watched Jordan and Dr. Fauci clash in Congress during the coronavirus hearings. Representative Jordan kept pressing Dr. Fauci regarding the protests, which have been going on for a period of over 70 days. Jim Jordan indicated to Dr. Fauci, the director of allergies and infectious diseases, and I quote, "Since you people believe we should avoid large crowds, do you believe that we should limit the amount of protesting going on?" Dr. Fauci indicated he could not determine what the government could or should not do in a forceful way regarding the protests. Yet the good doctor continues to tell America that we must remain restricted and prohibited from our day-to-day lives. Representative Jordan went on, and I quote, "Small businesses should remain closed, church gatherings should be prohibited, singing hymns banned, and travel restricted entirely, but not a word about the protests. This entirely violates our inalienable rights." However, he said, millions of people are allowed to gather every day and protest, day after day after day, but you try to open your business and you get arrested, end quote. Jim Jordan hit the nail right on the head. The Democratic agenda has essentially shut down our society, debilitated our people, crippled our economy. Our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness has been denied by the dregs of society, the miscreants, the criminals, the potheads, the homeless, the unemployed, the murderers, and the looters, allowed to do whatever the fuck they want. I ask you a question. To whom does this satisfy? To whom does this serve? There is only one answer. The masters of this charade are the Democratic Party. The same party who took America's frontline doctors video completely off the air so they could come up with a counter plan the following day. I saw the video in the morning of day one, and by 3 p.m. you couldn't find it anywhere. I searched the entire web far and wide. It essentially disappeared. The next day, the doctor who was in charge of the video was fired from her position. Fired for her viewpoint. That, my friends and fellow patriots, is socialism. Point and point. The Democratic leftists only support misfits, degenerates, the miscreants of society, and anything that goes against the social norms of America. Think about it. Everything evil in our society is what this party is about. They lie, they cheat, they steal, they manipulate the press, maim, murder, promote racial discord, support pedophilia, infanticide, and every movement bent on destruction of this country. They fund every single terrorist group in this nation. They control our news and a large percentage of our society. They promote drugs, violence, despair, and terror within our nation. They're the biggest supporter of criminals and bigots within this United States. Anyone who is not able to think for themselves and unable to make a living, unable to support a family that they can drag into a voting booth or drag from a grave by virtue of a free hot dog and a free check, is whom they support. I feel bad for those motherfuckers that are voting in the cemetery. They even disparage the dead. I mean, hey, fuck you and me. We don't count. Even the dead can't remain in peace. The treachery of the Democrats is preposterous. The Democratic Socialist regime is trying to rip up every fabric of our Constitution from right beneath us. A socialist society being created right before our eyes. Similar situations arose in countries like Venezuela, Cuba, China, and the Soviet Union. Look at what happened to their people. Collapsing economies, limits on the amount of children you have, apartments for everyone, you can never leave your shores, citizens in complete economic strife, bread lines, freedom of speech completely obliterated, no life, no liberty, no pursuit of happiness. Everyone's starving and miserable. If they were happy, they wouldn't be coming to America. One regime, one overwhelming power, creating a totalitarian government, telling you what to eat, telling you where to work, what fucking outfit you wear, what time you gotta take a shit, day after day after day. Look around at our world today. Look at what's going on in our own backyard. We go to work, we come home. We go to work again, we come back home again. No more hanging out with our friends, no more karaoke Fridays and Saturdays. Our vacations are obliterated. We wait outside of drugstores, we stand on red dots, we stand outside in the parking lot of doctor's offices. We're limited to the amount of people in a particular space, limited from our contact with others. The Democrats are controlling every move you make. They have created fear and division and pandemonium and isolated the entire country by fear and division. This is a war, America. We must fight for our freedom, fight for our right to move about, fight for our families and the families that will come after them. Stand with me, proud patriots, and fight against socialism. Vote these people out of office, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Chuck Schumers, the Jerry Nadlers, the Phil Murphys, the Bill de Blasios. They need to be voted out of office. They're no fucking good. Tell Mayor Jenny Durkin, it's time to leave Seattle. We've had enough of your summer of love. Stick it up your ass. Tell Lori Lightfoot to kick fucking rocks while you throw her out of Chicago. On the way, tell her to get a new hairdo and some plastic surgery. We ain't feeling the whole Beetlejuice thing. Tell Jacob Frey it's time to get a new job at Dancing at the Stars. It's obvious you can't run Minneapolis, you fucking doofus. Spray Ted Wheeler with a little more mace and kick him the fuck out of Portland. Tell Lilian Omar to get the fuck out of the country. You're a terrorist. Time to go back and kick some goat heads around in the desert. Tell Rashida Tlaib we've had enough of that oversized big fucking mouth of yours. Get the fuck out of America. It's time to run these people out of office. Time to vote them out. As the great Ronald Reagan indicated, the forward march of freedom and democracy will leave Marxism and Leninism on the ash heap of history. We must defeat this enemy. This is a war, America. We must do everything we can to combat the oppressor that is upon us, by any means necessary. Let us stand as one, patriots, and fight this evil together. God bless you all. God bless the Patriot Project. God bless our members. God bless America. Respectfully, Tommy Guns. I love you all. Have a beautiful night.